My friends, we got up a good one today. Um, it's an unknown chili for the most part. This pepper was sent to me from Matt and Maggie Stewart of Dry Fork Micro Farm. Thank you guys again, as always. So I talked with Matt. We messaged back and forth, and this is a F1 accidental cross that he is in the process this year of starting to stabilize. And this is the phenotype for the particular pepper he's shooting for, that he's going for. He sent me two of them. They look identical. The second one. So the thing is that it happens a lot, I think, with accidental crosses, especially if you're non-isolated and just different things. So I talked with Matt. He says he's 99.9 percent sure that this is a, well, here's the thing, either a Scotch bonnet or a Jamaican mushroom. We'll get into that in a minute. Crossed with a Thor's Thunderbolt. He said at the time when he discovered this that there was only the only purplish pods that he was growing in the same area as where these originated from was the Thor's Thunderbolt. Said that this pepper, the foliage on this pepper starts out purple. These pods go from purple to green and then to a fully ripened red like this. I can see it a little bit. Like if you have a Scotch bonnet or a Jamaican mushroom, they're real similar in phenotype and shape. You can see that in this, right? At least I can. The thing is that Thor's Thunderbolt aren't really, fat like that, right? But they're a little more elongated and skinny and whatnot. So I could see how that would be possible, right? But it's taking on, I would think, it looks like from this pheno, more of the Scotch bonnet or Jamaican mushroom side, I think, a little bit. It's pretty big though. I should have weighed them, but that doesn't really matter today. But it's a really neat phenotype, very interesting. I haven't really seen anything quite like this before, so he's got something pretty cool. Now, what I wanted to get into before we try these real quick is and I probably should have done this review first, but he also sent me, let's just pull these out. Again, great people over here, Dry Fork Micro Farm. Check them out. Really, really phenomenal peppers. But he sent me the Jamaican mushroom Scotch bonnet situation for review as well. Okay. Originally, when he got seeds for this, it was supposed to be a yellow Scotch bonnet. But he tends to think and is starting to think that these are a Jamaican mushroom and not a Scotch bonnet. Therefore, he knows that the red chili I just showed you, it came from these seeds. Seeds that were producing things like this are now producing things that look like that, right? That's how accidental crosses things happen. So he's very interested. He sent me these in particular to try to review and see my thoughts on those, if I think those are Scotch bonnets or in fact Jamaican mushrooms. So we'll get into that. But that is one of the parents of this red chili for sure, right? But we kind of got some questions, or Matt has some questions on that chili, because it's like supposed to be a Scotch bonnet, but looking at it, even the calyx and just how flat the top of that chili is, that speaks to me more Jamaican mushroom. So the look of that chili, just by looking at it, Scotch bonnets, Jamaican mushrooms, very similar in shape, a lot of different things. But that to me looks more like a Jamaican mushroom. And I believe that's what Matt and Maggie themselves over at Dry Fork Microphone, are thinking themselves as well. So I'm going to review that next, probably tomorrow. Then I can get a better idea what I think of that. But I really wanted to get into these. So here we go. Without further ado, this is an F1, accidental cross between a that yellow pod for sure. Okay, that thing, you know, Scotch bonnet or Jamaican mushroom, and 99% sure a Thor's Thunderbolt. I'm excited. Let's try it. And when he sent me this, he sent me a picture of these on the plant, and I was like, wow, those are interesting little chilies. They look cool. It looks like a tornado. You know, at least to me, it kind of has that. Oh, wow. Mm. 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 I want to mention real quick, I forgot to mention it. Matt was also talking to me and telling me that, you know, we're pretty sure it's a Thor's Thunderbolt because, uh, um, and I couldn't listen to his message that well, or I could, but it was a little glossy, hard to understand. If he had a, I think what he said was, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, so he had the one year, last year, he had the Thor's Thunderbolt planted right here. And in that same hole, he planted these. I think that's what he was saying. And this is some of the fruits he's getting. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong there, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I think that's what he was indicating. Back to the chili. I'm gonna say it right now. In a minute. There's one for the birds they've never had before. Probably never have it again. I mean, hopefully he can stabilize this because it's good. You know, here's the thing with it. In my experience, it has more heat than a Scotch bonnet or a Jamaican mushroom. So that's kind of a plus, right? It's hotter. I feel like. Let's see where this builds a little bit, but it's not like much hotter. But I think it's getting its burn and its overall heat from that Thor's Thunderbolt. Because to me, Thor's Thunderbolts are hotter than a Scotch bonnet. They're hotter than a Jamaican mushroom. Again, it goes back to my personality, you know, me personally, that those peach pods and shit, they burn me. I don't know, you know what I mean? It's creeping to the throat now, just a little bit at the top of the throat, like before it goes down, kind of. Um, good tongue burn while I was eating the pepper. It's kind of dissipating now. Now it's in the cheeks and the gums a little bit, mostly on the side I chewed on, but I can feel it over here in the cheeks as well. It was one of the sweetest hot peppers I've ever had. Now I've had like a candy cane pepper, which are super sweet. You know, that was sweeter in my opinion than a Sugar Rush Peach, Sugar Rush Stripey, any of those chilies, to be honest. It wasn't citrusy, it was fruity, and it fucking was sweet, man. That first initial bite was just like, it was kind of like sugary sweet too. You know what I mean? I talk about that a lot with like fruity, sweet, these things, and talk about if a pepper tastes that way, it's not that sugary sweetness. It's more of a natural sweetness that you get from like a grape or something like that, right? It's like a little bit different. This, on the other hand, was more of a real sugary kind of sweet. Let's eat this other one and see where the burn picks up. Yeah, it's a good mouth burn though. Really comfortable, really nice mouth burn. I'm not getting much of a smell off of it. That's alright. But again, beautiful pheno, beautiful shape, beautiful bright stop sign red. And you can see the difference in the reds here. You know, I can't tell by eating this chili what those yellow ones are, right? Because I wonder though, because this shape looks more of a Scotch bonnet shape than a Jamaican mushroom shape. You know what I mean? And I say that because all the Jamaican mushrooms I've ever had in the past and whatnot, they're really flat like this, like saucery, more flat. Whereas a Scotch bonnet in the middle, like this chili has, at least I think it's more of a bulb, a little bit fatter. It's flat on top, right? But I've seen Scotch bonnets, you know, kind of a little bit like that, but they tend to have a little bit more of a, I mean, you've seen it here. See the indentation, how it goes? You can see it kind of all the way around. The Scotch bonnets, that's usually a lot more pronounced. It's not as flat all the way across. And these weren't flat. You know, they kind of had that lobe onto another lobe, if you will. So, I don't know. Probably doing this in reverse order. I probably should have done these first, but still be all right, because I'll review those, and Matt will be able to, you know, pick up on what I talk about on those. I just wanted to get to these because they were starting to wrinkle on the skin, just a little bit. They're still fresh, still nice, crunchy, but it has that for the birds. And this has a Chinense kind of vibe to it as well. It's especially on this one. That second one was hotter than the first one. Yeah. It's got my nose activated. Eyes aren't really watering or doing much. Not too much sweat going on there. It's hard to say. Now that second one, it wasn't as fruity, or maybe it was and I just was already kind of used to the taste. That happens sometimes, especially when you're eating multiple peppers at a time. You ever get into, 4, 5, 6 peppers or something like that? I've very rarely been able to, of the same variety. Throw in a different variety, sometimes, most of the time I think you can still pick up what's going on as far as flavors. But with the same variety, I feel like after, 2, you can pick up some differences. 4, 5, 6, anything more, like, they just all taste the same now, right? Like, it's hard to pick up on, well, that one was sweeter, that one was this, that, that could be what's going on here, because that first one was just exploded with sugary, sweet. It's a pretty instant heat as well with this, a pretty instant burn. It's not really climbing anymore. It's not really going anywhere from, where that first pepper kind of had me. It's not really going anywhere. All it did was pick back up the tongue burn, pick back up the throat burn, the cheeks. Like I said, there is just a little bit of a, but it's not bad. I'm not generating a lot of saliva like I do sometimes. So it's definitely not, super hot, right? It's more in that hot range. Like I said, my nose will run even if I just eat one jalapeno, a green one too, you know what I mean? It's a great chili. I mean, it's really cool. It's I just feel blessed to be able to try that. I told Matt that, like, it's just, this is what, gets me excited. Again, like I said, he's sent me a box of pods for my enjoyment, and those yellow ones I showed you, and then the ones I just ate here were ones he threw in that I didn't even know about, and he messaged me and said, hey, I want you to try these peppers and let me know your thoughts and whatnot. And besides him and his farm and Maggie, I don't know who else has tried this chili. So again, like I said, just I told him, just really appreciative, man. It's always cool when I can try a new pepper, and then, like I said, learn some backstory on it, and then try to help kind of maybe, piece together a few things. I'll get at these in the next few days, Matt. Maggie, I'll get on these next couple of days, because these ones, I was going to do these first. That was the goal. But these are holding up a lot better. Not that those weren't. Those, to me, they were just kind of starting to get, I don't know, because I don't know if I'm going to have time tomorrow to do a review, so it might hold off now until Saturday. And I just didn't want I just didn't want to risk something happening with those chilies, because those are the, you know, the actual cross, and I wanted to really, for me personally, I really wanted to eat those. I really wanted to experience those in the best shape that they are, and they were in great shape. I just didn't want to risk another day or two. So again, got my nose running. You know, it's around habanero level heat. Maybe, right? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not the best at judging heats, you know, so. But it has a nice warmth to it, a good heat. Alright, I'm going to kill the video. It's been long enough. A lot to talk about in this one, but yeah, that's all I got. Again, Matt, Maggie, thank you guys so much. Everybody else, appreciate you watching. Thanks for burning with me. It's been your #1 hot sauce guy, and we'll be back for another review.